Oh,
automatically.
interesting. Interesting.
Um, so you need to do that. So that's a turn. Uh, likewise,
By the way, Donald,
when
you'll
you
see the
launch
screen
the
pop up.
nuke,
Yep.
the person who does the first strike, oh, looks like they got it going.
Yeah, we got it up. So sorry, the person that does the first
The
strike.
person who launches the first strike, it's a minimum of 10% reduction of your points, plus 10% for each people power that you have.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, people interest, I should say,
So
actually.
in other words, it's like you can't go straight for nukes. Like you've got to break the doomsday clock, and at that point you can launch.
Yeah.
Pretty
Because
much.
right now we're at 3. So regions 3 and 4 would only give you one Doomsday Clock addition.
Okay.
Likewise, armaments will bring down the Doomsday Clock by 1 for every unit that is put into the garrison.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So let's see what we have.
Let's do it. All right, so we're taking a look here at the world map, and we're going to be deciding, I guess, right now our focus, right, at this point. Or maybe we should show off. We'll show off right here for people the launch or authorization area, and this kind of, guys, shows you like the amount of nukes we have and the amount of nukes the Soviets have. Obviously, this is not the only way. Oh yeah, they don't have any nukes. This is not the only way to actually win the game. Obviously, through nukes, you can win through ideology, or I should say, getting your ideology to win at the end. But this is an option in the actual game itself. All right, let's just go back here. All right, so we're taking a look at the world map here.
Silent for Bostova there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we'll go ahead and confirm. So we can confirm at this point and go right in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Basically, we're just giving the overview. The world hasn't come into play yet. Like, as soon as you hit confirm, you're going to see the world light up.
Oh, nice. And this is like...
So now you can see all your force placements. Like, you have that lonely fleet off the coast of, I think the Solomons in Australia.
Oh, interesting.
In the Oceanic Zone. Likewise, you have some fleet, like a lot of presence in Japan. You have a singular fleet off the coast of Israel. And you have most of your army in North America.
Oh, cool.
With some forces in Europe.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Okay, so let's just take a look here.
Mm-hmm.
And so at this point, we're jumping into focus management. So can you explain a little bit, Donald, like what is focus management? Like, why do you want to focus on one specific region?
Well, focus management, look, let's see what we have. So you see the theater focus thing at the top?
Yeah, yeah.
Click on it.
Okay, let's hit on theater.
It's above Arctic, right? So if you click on that, it will switch everything from the theater mode.
Oh, interesting.
And then you can see at a glance which ones are disarmament or arms race. So the world is an angry place because I can see your screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here. So it looks like we have, and I don't have this memorized, but there's arms races in North America and Eastern Europe. So they're typically longer because they're home theaters. It also really depends on what you want to do. As the USA, like your main goal, if you see your interest in the bottom left, is you have no government. And you have a lot of decisions that you want to do as the USA that cost government points. So what you typically want to do is get a government mode. Find a theater with a lot of turns, like Arms Race 6, and to get government. Likewise, if you click through the theaters, you can see the decisions that are, or the policies that you can choose.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I love that option, and I didn't even know this at first. So, guys, basically, let's say we click on North America here, if you look at, it says arms race here, but over here on interest focus, we can focus on elites, we can focus on military, or we can focus on government, which would give us sort of like a bonus to that area. And as Donald mentioned, you can see right here, we have almost virtually no government and also virtually no elites, or is that economy? That being said, that's an issue right now. So I'm guessing, Donald, we want to go for a government focus.
If you mouse over it, it should actually tell you, but it goes in this order: financial, people, elites, military, and government interests.
Oh, interesting.
Likewise, what I was actually talking about is you see where the command reserve bar is. You can see where the units are.
Sure can, right there.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see the policies in those theaters.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I
And
see.
this is
Oh
where
yeah.
you can plan. So you can click out and actually look into the theaters to get a feel for what you actually need.
Oh,
So
very cool.
if you go to the world map, and if you go to like North America, and you can like a lot of policies are nested within a like that decision, and it'll give you the actual cost. So you'll notice that, say, the Marshall Plan in Western Europe cost, I believe, two finance.
For finance.
Uh,
That's huge.
Pardon?
For finance here for the Marshall Plan. 3 people
Yeah,
and
but
3
you
government.
start a lot. You're America. You're rich.
Oh, nice. You're America,
But
you're
it's
rich.
something you have to keep aware of because there are a lot of things that cost finance and government for the Americans. In Central America and in South America, you have the Rio treaties. It's cheaper in Central America, and the sooner you get to fire that off, the better. Because it's up to 15% influence gained in a region,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it becomes less and less and less as the timelines go on.
Interesting. I see. That's really, really cool. And do some of these abilities like disappear over time?
No, but
are they always
some of them have cooldowns, some of them are one-offs, like American culturalization, which you find in Western Europe, which is free, by the way, has a cooldown of 10 turns, and doesn't cost you anything, but gives you 1 influence in Western Europe and 1 random influence around the world.
Oh, interesting. Okay, very cool. So right now I'm guessing that we want to go for a government focus, right? But we also
we
want
need
to
somewhere
look.
that is government. We also want to find a theater that, well, it's early game, so Davide will probably not pick military because in the beginning there's not much you can spend military interest on.
Okay.
And in the future, like not all the mismanagement events in, but as the Americans, you can't have max or no military interest because you will launch the lifelong soldier event, which can be bad.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem. The lifelong soldier event sounds like a problem. So what about we go for Western Europe? Let's jump into Western Europe with a government focus.
That's not a whole lot of turns. As you can see off to the right center, that's only 3 turns. So that's not a whole lot of government.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Something juicier. Like,
Let's see.
yeah, South America would be good.
Okay, let's go for South America. So we're going to go here for South America and do our focus. Now, it looks like in South America we can only take military. Is that okay?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we're going to have to pick something else. So guys, this
about
is part of the reason, guys, it's important, like, or depends what you take first, because what we need is government here, and although South America is great, it's unfortunately only got military as an option, and of course elites. So
yeah,
what should we
some
go
of the
for?
arms races, like it's very rare, but like North America, you could probably get government as well. I believe that's how it works. If you look in North America, I think it would have government
you're
as an
right.
option as well, even though it's on arms race.
Wow, so should we go for a strong point like North America and just like boost it, or?
Yeah, you can still act in this theater, and you can still deploy without any cost against you. And you still have a lot of people interest. And American culturalization gives you a people interest. So every 10 turns, it's like a free people interest.
Interesting.
It's fantastic.
All right, so let's go for
and
the U.S.
And it'll make it costly for Davide as well to work outside this theater.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So let's do that.
Because
So we're basically building up our base here. In other words, like we're really trying to just get like a strong home theater, pretty much. We're not being too we're not putting our tentacles out too much. We're just kind of like we're just guarding what's ours, pretty much. All right, so we'll go into focus in North America here. We do have a government focus.
You're also not restricted to acting in just North America. You can act outside of it, but military moves in that will cost you a people interest.
Oh, cool. By the way, it looks like David is focusing on Southeast Asia. We've got Ho Chi Minh over here, as far as I can see. We'll have to see if he's actually going to focus there. I'm pretty sure that's what he's going for. So this is interesting.
it is.
This is really cool, Donald. So I can see him actually doing his moves like real time, pretty much. Is that what's occurring here, or?
Yeah, he's
nice.
putting down his influence out because he chose to disarm. If you go to focus management, we can actually see what he chose for this thing.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Let's see. Oh, so he took South Asia.
Yeah, and you also get to see what interest. Oh, okay, so during this phase, both of you will be getting people interest per turn because he chose people interest, disarmament in South Asia.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting.
It's
So
actually a really good choice because South Asia is actually really hard for you to
yeah,
get to.
absolutely.
What did he put influence in, if you can go check?
Yeah, let's take a look here. Let's go to focus management. It looks like his interest was people. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, like if you go to South Asia, what did he put influence? Like when
Oh,
he
okay.
chose
So
disarmament, he got influence
yeah. So
points.
he put it in West India, East India. It looks like he may have also put in Vietnam. Yes, Vietnam has turned entirely red, and that's about it. So yeah, the West Asia and also Burma. He's got a
So
nice
what you want to do
string.
now is like what I would recommend is you have a surface fleet in your command reserve, or you should.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
You should put it. Actually, go to Western Europe,
All right. Let's go to Western Europe.
and there's a reason why I'm going to recommend this. Is you're going to want to fire off American culturalization as many times as you can. So getting that cooldown started is fantastic.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to pop the American culturalization, guys. And this is, we gain 1 influence in this theater and 1 globally. And I love that. That's a really cool cooldown, as you mentioned. So let's go ahead and pop that. Boom. American culturalization has occurred. Let's see. Why don't we bring Italy to our side? You think so? Or, ooh, yeah, well, let's see. I'm just looking here.
So you got Iceland, and what did you get around the world?
We got all of the UK except for Ireland. Well, excuse me, Irish friends.
No, like,
You're not part of the
culturalization
UK.
gives you some free political points. So I'm curious. If you pull up the message log, if you click on that at the bottom there, you can see what's happened.
So can you tell me where the message log is here?
When you just leave.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. Interesting. So we got regional control established in Iceland, +1 influence in Alaska, and +1 influence in Iceland.
Okay. So I need to go report that again. Because Alaska already has max domination.
Oh,
It
interesting.
can't go any higher, so it should not have gone there.
We're still in beta, guys. Okay.
It is early access, and we're trying to like work it out. But like I discovered this the other day, and I only recently reported it.
Oh, cool.
So it should definitely not do that. Also, the infamous Alaska, it is struck back.
Yes.
I'm curious.
I didn't know.
because-
I didn't know that Alaska was part of Western Europe. This is fascinating news.
Well, no, that was one. Like you got one political influence in Western Europe, and then you got one randomly across the world. Now, this
Oh, I
is a
see,
little
okay,
internal joke between Zaris and I.
Uh-huh.
But if there's anything random that happens, it happens in Alaska.
Wow. That is, it's sort of like an area where you would expect sort of like paranormal things to occur, Bigfoot sightings and things like that. And suddenly it's also
Always
affecting the game. It's crazy. All right, so what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to go ahead and put 1 influence in Italy, so we grab that. Let me snag Italy. Now, I may have not done the right... Oh, I think I messed up. I dropped a unit. I meant to put influence. I dropped a unit.
You had an army command, and it's expensive, by the way. You
Oh my
cost
gosh.
2 force points.
Okay, so
That's
first
why I was-
mistake.
That's fine. Don't worry about it too badly. And it's gonna be costly because it's outside of your theater.
Okay.
Like if you choose to like raise influence here, which is fine because you have a lot of people interest to burn, which is why it's hard as the USA to launch nukes because you have so much people interest. You would lose essentially most of your points if you launch the nukes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
When you get points.
Now, is there still anything we can do here in South Asia? Because we were, I guess maybe now we have to wait.
The USSR's turn. In South Asia, we definitely actually what I was going to recommend is putting a surface fleet
Okay.
off of the coast of Malacca there, like basically Siam.
Okay.
And because what a surface fleet does, it has a special ability, convoying. So any region like that its neighbors or is in
Uh-huh.
has its force, like its deployment cost reduced by 1.
Interesting. This would be the Thai Malaysian zone, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because it's a choke point essentially, because it has the Straits of Malacca there.
Nice. All right. So we've got a surface fleet there, which is kind of watching Ho Chi Minh and his communist friends.
It is
but
also
it's tough
costly
one.
though. That's why I typically recommend getting that out first, and like, bribing Kai-shek in East Asia to give you an extra force pool point.
Oh, interesting. All right. Cool. Let's see if there's anything else we should do, or at this point end the turn.
You're out of force pool points because of our costly deployments.
Yeah, I was worried about that. I was concerned. All right, so we'll done it right there.
But what I'm referring to, and we'll go over it shortly, is and you can do this with any unit, by the way. But if you go to like that surface fleet that we just deployed, we can click on it and look at its abilities. And if you mouse over and hold your mouse on it, you can check, like, read the abilities.
Oh, cool.
And when it's your turn, we'll try to showcase that, so you get a better feel, because all units have their special abilities.
So let's take a
have
look.
Their own passive and active abilities.
Yeah, let's take a look here. I'm selecting the unit. I might not be selecting it properly.
Well, you can't yet because.
Oh, that's right. It's still his turn.
Since you burnt extra force pool points, like you did 2 very costly deployments that costed you 2. The USR has some extra turns that they haven't spent.
Oh boy, interesting.
Because your force pool points is used for both your deployments and your turns.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so we're back here. Once again, it seems like North America. Just looking at these different...
There we go. Now we're in North America Arms Race. So this is the mode that you chose. So for every force pool point, so every turn that we get, we're going to gain government, and he's going to gain government. So if you want to, say, move and check out that surface fleet in Greenland.
All right, let's take a look at that surface fleet. Yep.
You can mouse over the abilities and just get a feel for it.
Interesting. Okay, so it's got several different abilities here. It looks like we've got the disembark ability, unloads transport army commander region. Oh, interesting. I didn't see that. So we could essentially drop an army commander and start gaining influence.
On this one.
Oh, cool.
As you see with the AC over the icon.
Oh, I see. So this one is actually this one's actually been like transporting an army. In other words, like separately. Interesting. Okay. And we can also bring it over to the command reserve, of course, and put it elsewhere. And it looks like convoying reduces regional deployment costs for friendly forces by 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know how it costed you 2 in Italy for that force deployment, or 2 in Thai Malaysia?
Yeah.
Well, anytime that you would put units in there after you put down the surface fleet, it would cost you 1.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it wouldn't cost you as much per turn. In the meantime, I would go over to Kaishek in East Asia.
All right, let's do it.
Tell him to get his rear-end gear and give you a free force pool point, because you want to accrue as much government interest as you can.
Okay.
Because Davide's being really nice and he hasn't fired off Socialist Fraternity.
Nice. So there we go, America's Playground. Interesting. That's the USA News that has just popped up here. And the long telegrammed. I write with haste, it is true. USSR aiming for nothing short of world communism. Worldview comes from sense of insecurity against antagonistic capitalist encirclement. Soviets impervious to logic or reason and highly sensitive to logic or force. Must see that the public is educated to realities of Russian situation. Free press cannot do this alone. Do not know how much longer until I am discovered. Pursuing to gather more information. Mr. X. Ooh, Mr. X. We've got a spy here, it seems like. Interesting. Okay, so we are here in Asia once again. And what should we do now, Donald?
Well, what we can do is, now that you have some surface fleets, you still have one more surface fleet available to you.
Okay.
You also have a ton of people interest. So what we can do is, what I'd like to recommend is go back to South Asia.
All right, let's do that.
So now we should be able to see that lovely Thai Malaysian zone.
Oh,
you
yes.
Notice how we have that surface fleet there? This is like a lot of forward planning. We can now should be able to put down an army command, and I would always recommend when putting down an army command into a very enemy-dominated region like South Asia, the next turn we'll put down a fighter command because that will protect them from Soviet aggression.
Interesting. Okay. So we can go ahead and select the army command and drop them right there into South Asia, or should we drop them on the ship? No, we want to drop them actually on land, right? In this case.
I still think. So I would recommend, put it directly on land because you're just putting it onto the thing. Because
Nice.
what army commands can do that no other thing can is fortify zones. Like, other than leaders. But as a
Interesting.
military unit, it's the only one that can fortify zones, which will generate interest there. And because we have a lot of interest. Oh, here we go.
Also, I love this
All right.
this news item regarding the commission, essentially the mafia. The mafia had like many close ties to Batista, for any viewers, and Batista was eventually overthrown by Fidel Castro. This is pretty interesting news. I love the news items that you guys have in the game. It really gives you an idea of sort of the sentiment of
A
at
lot
the
of
time.
these are also our decision, like lead to decision events, because we chose North America as our theater.
Oh, interesting.
It set off events or decisions that we get. Now you just got the honors pursuit here, so we can get some government, which is fantastic, or we can reduce Ansinder's power to get forceful points. But not gonna lie, we need government.
Okay.
Like all of the government for days.
So in this case, I mean, either one gives us +1 government.
Yeah.
So let's assign him to the Department of State. Let's go ahead and do that. And Harry J.
And
Anslinger.
I'm not familiar with this event chain, so
No,
I
neither
don't
am I.
really
That's
know
why
if it's
I thought it was totally new, because I hadn't seen this before. I was like, this is pretty cool.
because it's North America. So if you've never activated the North American theater, so this one I usually like to wait.
Okay.
If you mouse over the yes condition for the Doomsday Clock +4, which is vital, by the way, because we want to activate the Martian Plan.
Interesting.
Which needs a minimum +4 Doomsday Clock, I believe. If you mouse over the requirements and then hold, it'll tell you what you need
Let's take a look.
to do that.
Influence in at least 3 Central European Western Zone states. So, wow, that would be, seems fairly tough to do, no? That would be the Soviet zone.
No, that's
Oh, sorry, Western Zone. So that would actually be the
That's
Western
Germany.
Europe. Oh, we can do that. We can absolutely do that.
So I usually decide later on the long
Okay.
telegram.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll decide later. Not worry about that too much right now.
So then this is where it's great that you have so much people influence. Is that lovely. So let's go back over to Germany.
Okay, let's do it.
Actually, let's. How much influence does he have in East Germany? Can we go take a look?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because there's
So
a
it's gonna be
decision
3.
that mirrors. So let's see.
Yeah, East Germany, he's got 3 influence.
Okay, so instead, let's go back to Western Europe because
Okay.
he's got 3 in East Germany. In Western Europe, there I believe is the rehabilitation of Germany.
I see that. Yeah, very cool. Rehabilitation of Germany. Spend 1 elite. Set friendly influence in Western Europe to match Central European Eastern Zone. Interesting.
Yeah. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get 2 political points there.
Okay. All right, let's pop
And
it.
don't worry about that elite we're spending, even though technically you would be in mismanagement. We're gonna go back to North America and do something really awesome.
Okay, cool.
But
So we just
fire that
popped that.
first.
We fired that, and yeah, we have nothing in terms of elites, but you're gonna fix this for us so we get some some of those corporations in our
There
pocket
you go. Now
again.
you have control in Germany. How about that?
Oh,
So let's go
interesting.
back to North America.
All right, let's see. So we're here in North America now, and guys,
You see Olympus Rising, that illegal, that eagle
yeah, I
over
do
the
see
shield?
that. Uh-huh.
Fire it.
All right, let's fire off Olympus Rising, guys. I love those sounds. That's interesting there. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Now, as you see, it sets your elites to 1, and increases your chance in assassination. And
False
a few
flag,
other things,
yeah.
plus 15%.
Wow. And you can see that down here,
So-
guys.
Yeah. So now you'll have your elites back to 1.
Nice. Now we're actually playing with fire a bit. I like this. I want to see.
So let's go and get that long telegram. You see how our interest bars are flashing? If you click on that, we can bring back our decisions.
Oh, very cool. Okay, nice. So we want to go ahead and click on the flashing button here, and I see that right there. Decisions attached to this region, and we can go
Well,
ahead and.
you can also click. You know how our our interests are at the bottom. You can click on that to get to it too.
Oh, cool. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
So yes,
Interesting.
Doomsday Clock +4.
Let's do it. And if we're gonna go for a nuclear victory, that's okay. I mean, it is what it
You
is.
can't launch nukes until you get to midnight, so don't worry about
Okay,
it too much.
perfect. All
So
right.
let's do that because there's no way the Soviets can stop us now.
No.
Now see the Marshall Plan?
Yep, I sure do.
I think we can afford that now.
Yes, we can. And this will give us 15 influence in Western Europe. So we're taking Western Europe entirely at this point. I mean, it's pretty much completely under our control. Well, not totally, but we're doing a pretty damn good job.
It'll look more blue, which is
Yes, that's the goal. All right, so we'll pop off the Marshall Plan. Wow, look at that. It's almost entirely blue. Just amazing. So there we go. So Donald, you've shown us, like, this is really cool. Like, just using the abilities or the plans, stuff like that, you can really change the game, like, dramatically. Like, I definitely wasn't using the abilities to this extent, almost like in combination here. This is amazing, man. This is like, Western Europe is ours at this point.
Now take a look at NATO and just love it. Read it, like, mouse over what it is.
Let's take a look. So for NATO, we just faction turn indicator. Where's the I see what you mean. Okay. Founding of NATO. All friendly controlled regions in this theater become dominated. Wow.
Now, a controlled region is considered 3 political influence or more. So as you can see, Portugal, France, the UK, most of those places would flip to max 5. They'd be dominated. So like all that would go to 5. So anytime like the USSR would be try to get into your backyard, they would max out the doomsday clock.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you see how we have that.
So and if they, so in other words, if they did that and they maxed out the doomsday clock, we would be allowed to launch nukes and basically win automatically.
We would be allowed to launch nukes, but it's costly to do first strikes because we would like to do the second strike, like responding to a nuclear Armageddon. You don't have to pay the people influence cost against your points. Likewise, if you decide to launch, like the person who launches first strike will have to pay the cost in points, and you better hope that you are killing a lot of whatever your enemy is to make up for it.
Interesting. Okay, I see what you mean.
Now, I would recommend saving up a stock of government influence over time. Like, I would recommend not hiring a whole lot of leaders unless you can avoid it. But we have a whole lot of people influence, so let's go back to South Asia.
Okay, let's do that.
Because we have time, we can activate NATO whenever. I don't think it requires a doomsday clock being set high.
So yeah, if we could stifle David's efforts to sort of dominate South Asia, that would obviously be a good thing here.
Yeah, I can't remember all the specifics, but we can put down a fighter command.
Let me just make sure I'm picking the right one for fighter command. And that would be the one on the far right over here, right? For the fighter command. And you mentioned this will protect our tanks pretty much in this area.
It's protected from bombing runs, which are really good at killing tanks.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, let's put a fighter command here. So, yeah, we're really trying to keep Malaysia, well, it's not currently in our sphere of influence, but at least we're not trying to let it go red. And the amount of influence David has here is incredible. He's got Afghanistan, he's got Pakistan, he's going to take India very, very soon. It's just pure domination.
We're gonna kill Ming.
Oh, nice. Let's get rid of Ho Chi Minh. He's a problem. Well, then again, is there any point? Because he's only got 1 influence point left to use.
That's fine. That means we can kill him. We can launch a war zone, and I believe that will give us. I can't remember the cost to NATO, but I think it might require a little bit more doomsday clock.
Okay.
And who doesn't like a little Vietnam War?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. All right, cool. So at this point, what should we do? And guys, we really are letting Donald talk me through this. It's definitely.
Well, I want to. I'm also trying to go through all the options, get a feel for the game.
I honestly don't mind at all because I think this really gives the viewers a chance to see all aspects of the game and get a feel for it. I think it works out. But I think if I faced David alone, I would be so crushed at this point. It wouldn't even be funny. I mean, I can see already.
We're still on the first turn.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it's a lot more challenging than the actual AI to actually face a player. Now it looks like he had Nehru.
Going to be different, by the way. If you choose a totally different focus, that event is not guaranteed to fire. I'm pretty sure that event where we got that government is only specific if you have the North American theater active.
Oh wow!
We have a lot of event chains that work that way, like May Day and Soviet. There are 2 versions of May Day for Eastern Europe, Likewise, the GDR founding. There's also the Israeli, the Foundation of Israel.
Interesting.
We also have, I believe, the Idi Amin chain in Africa. It's further along. I think it's in the 70s. We also have more things coming down the pipe because, make the game feel more alive. Like East Asia might look bland now, but trust me, it'll be fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's good to hear that you guys are like continuously adding stuff to the game. So like, there's more and more like news chains, event chains that weren't there before that I'm really starting to like. Now let's take a look here.
Central America, because it looks like we set off the chain. I think this goes to the Batista chain. I can't recall, but
Cool.
it's I don't recall specifically. I'm not as familiar here. Wow, that's a lot of point.
It is. That one
That's
right there, +5 to government. It's really tempting, isn't it?
Turn, but you need government.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, that's so tempting. Let's do it.
And I don't think we have a whole lot of things that need to be done. We're still pretty good. And I would rather you save your finance because, in theory, you don't have a way to gain it, and you should treat the game as if all mismanagement is in. For some reason, you did not get the elite that you should have gotten from Olympus Rising, so I need to look into that. I'm pretty sure it should have set it to 1.
Okay,
but go ahead and authorize full federal investigation. Get that sweet government.
So this is that essentially Lucky Luciano is what he's funneling money through the Cuban government at this point through Batista, and we're going to go ahead and launch an investigation. I believe that's what's going on here. Let's see. Actually, I know who Harry J. Anslinger was. He's the same guy that I think he called marijuana the devil's weed. Was it? He went extremely. He was like an anti-drug warrior of the time period, but also kind of a problem for the mafia because they were in the black markets, things like this.
Well, one person's champion is another person's tyrant.
Exactly. I think so. I think Anslinger was a pretty awful guy in many respects.
So now we have a bunch of government points. Like we have enough that we can probably hire a leader because we're going to be generating every turn, so we don't want to max that out.
Oh, nice. Okay, so let's see here.
Oh, I heard the nuclear launch option.
I was just taking a look. I was just having a look-see. All right, so at this point we can go ahead. We can hit done. No, because as far as I can tell, there's not much else we can do.
Well, it's the USSR's turn actually.
Oh, okay.
That being said, while we're waiting for it to come back to our turn, let's look at focus management. So at the beginning of the game, you'll notice not in state affairs. Oh, not surrender. Don't do that.
No.
I think it's state affairs. We can look at the nuclear arms race. We can see how many nukes we produce a turn, and then we'll get progressively more.
Interesting.
As we go on.
Okay, so let's take a look here. And also, it looks like we can pop nuclear research. Oh, no, not yet, but in time.
No, we start ahead, actually. We already have 2 done.
Oh, I see. Oh, so, okay. So strategic fighter bomber would be the next one.
Like, how else could we drop a nuke on Nagasaki and Hiroshima?
Exactly. Well, what I was going to say is this... yeah. So the 0.2, this, in other words, we're getting a fifth of a nuke.
5 turns, we will gain a nuke.
Yeah, interesting. So that's not a lot, right? That's
Oh, but trust me, as we get through this chain, like eventually, once we get to like Merv, we'll be producing a nuke a turn.
Oh, nice.
It ramps up really quick, and it gets like your arsenals can get huge if we choose theaters where we both choose that focus, like double disarms.
Oh, nice.
Really build up the stockpiles. So now it's our turn again. So now I will.
What about getting Ben? I'm thinking we should bring Ben Gurion to power in the Middle East, but I'm not sure if it's really going to help us that much. And in fact, let me look at focus management.
Let's see if we can fire off the Rio Treaty. Yeah, let's see what that cost us.
Okay, let's take a look. So this would be South America over here.
Yeah, I can't remember the cost of...
let's see. So it's gained up to 15% influence in this theater, with the percentage having each timeline be on the first. Okay, so we'll take the focus as South America. Oh, I think
I
David is still
would
playing his turn.
recommend Central. It's
Okay,
cheaper.
let's see.
I think you can actually afford that one. I
Oh,
think
interesting. So you can pop this in both Central or South America.
it's more expensive in the South American version.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll make this Central America our focus. I think right now David's still playing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Do we have the focus in Central America? If you click on the theater, we can actually click on it and see what the actual cost is. So, see the Rio Treaty? Oh, you're there.
Yep.
We can go back to Central America. We can actually activate that treaty. Since it's the first timeline, we would get the most out of it.
All right, let's do it. We're going to pop the Rio Treaty at this point, guys.
How much does that cost?
Oh, I didn't look. But that was magnificent. That just completely turned, first of all, Western Mexico and obviously Cuba, everything there, Haiti, everything is pretty much blue, except for Eastern Mexico, which I'm sure we could get under our control. So that really gave us a huge power boost there.
Yeah, and if that one costs, that was the cheaper version. I believe the South American version is far more expensive. I can't recall the exact cost because it's been a while, but you can always go check. Because you gain points per turn depending on your amount of control or domination in a theater, the amount of political influence. So now we have control in Central America. We get 2 points here.
Wow.
For the end of every timeline.
Oh, nice. All right.
So if you click on that, it'll bring you to the next the option further in, the Rio Treaty.
Yeah, let's jump back to
We can
South
actually see what
America.
the cost is because it's more expensive down there.
Let's see. So it says gain up to 15% influence with percent. Okay, well, I'm not seeing the price. Oh, there we go. So -4 to government, -2 to people, and -3 to finance. Yeah, that's devastating.
Yeah, we don't have the finance yet. That is a future one.
The
So
thing
we
is
won't be able to
all-
get the full
all we
effect of
really-
that one because it'll be worth less in the future.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, all we really need is just one more. It's so frustrating. I want that.
I know, but that's why I recommended the Rio Treaty in Central America, because if you had fired that before, you would have had 0 finance, and you should try to play this as if mismanagement is a thing.
Yeah, so you had mentioned that before. In other words, like, you can take the risk of going down to 0, but it's not something you'd recommend in most cases.
Yeah, because as we put out more content, not only are we doing event chains like the one we're seeing in Central America, we're also going to be doing mismanagement. So if you get max interest in or no interest, so like finance, people, elites, military, or government, you'll set off an event chain that could have you potentially lose the game.
Wow.
There are you can fight against it, but it's something you're gonna have to keep in mind. Like if we maxed out military or didn't have any military interest left, we would launch the lifelong. The lifelong soldier.
Oh, wow. By the way, it says GFK here in the stream chat says Anslinger is a total badass. Yeah, I guess he is. I mean, I guess he is a badass.
Well, he's also the lead designer.
Anslinger?
No.
No, I said. Oh, I see. I was about to say. I was like, wait a minute. Don't tell me that there's somebody named Anslinger as your actual lead designer. It's like a far removed cousin from the original.
Well, Gellert, you know what you have to do. You have to become Anslinger.
That's right. Become a Harry J. Anslinger.
Anyway, so we have a lot of leeway now. Done the majority of what we can do. So, the USSR has 4 points. Do you know what that means?
So that's victory
Reproach?
points, right?
Yeah. So he's decided to gain some victory points over you. So we have some choicey decisions. I just noticed this. Go to East Asia.
All right, let's do it.
Now it's unlikely because the policy I'm going to get you to do only really works if the USSR is ahead of you in points. So you notice that telephone in the bottom? It's called reapproachment.
Yeah, and sorry, I should know this. What is reapproachment exactly?
Basically, you're trying to play nice with the forces here in East Asia.
Okay.
And you can place a maximum of 6 influence equal to the USSR USA VP ratio. The USSR has 4 victory points. We have none, so we will gain 4 influence here.
Interesting.
If we activate it. And it costs you nothing, so activate it away.
So this would be something not necessarily to activate if the USSR had a lot of influence in this region. It would essentially be...
No, it's because of the points.
Okay.
Victory points. It's based on your VP ratio. The further ahead the USSR is against the USA, the more points you get.
Oh, the more points you get. Understood. In other words, if the USSR had 3-3-3-3, we'd get a tremendous amount of influence to sort of move things around.
Like the VP points in the top.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Oh, I was completely trying to balance the two in the actual region itself. That makes sense. Okay, so it's based off the VP
let's
points.
Get, like Taiwan.
Yes.
Let's make East Asia more blue.
All right. Let's see. Let's take South Korea. I think we should start with South Korea. Let's take a look over here. Should we go for and I'm not sure specifically this area right here. Let's take a look. Shouldn't we get a name for the region usually? Taiwan's right there. Oh my god, I messed up completely. I was trying to get the name of the region.
What'd you do?
Yeah. I threw in everything into Nanking. Because what I was trying to do was get the name of the region and region information, and we just went pure Nanking Massacre apparently.
Oh wow.
That works.
There's war there, you max out the doomsday.
Max out. All right. Well, so thank God, this is my first time on multiplayer.
No worries. We could also do the same event in Eastern Europe.
Okay, let's try it. So we'll jump there to Eastern Europe over here, and wow, we got another rapprochement. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So this time we have influence for Western Europe.
Yep.
I'm guessing we can go ahead and bring Italy and Spain under our sphere right now, so I'll do that.
Try to bring as many things up to 3 as you can.
Okay, perfect. So we'll bring Spain into our sphere, Italy into our sphere. I think we can even bring Greece.
Yeah, do that.
Wow. Okay, so Western Europe. I'm hoping we'll make up for that mistake with this. Let's hope so. And we can actually take... Well, no, we can't take the Canary Islands, but can at least move them sort of towards our sphere of influence there. So I'll do that. Okay, wow. Western Europe is entirely blue, except for Yugoslavia.
That's fine. That's pretty standard.
And Sweden and Finland, of course.
Yeah, Swedes.
Swedes, exactly.
Yeah, we can also launch American culturalization again.
All right, let's do it.
10 turns has passed. That one.
That went by. Yeah, that went by really fast. I mean, when I'm thinking 10 turns, I didn't anticipate us coming back to this so quickly. That's a really great ability there.
Mm-hmm. Now let's find out what we need to make NATO fire.
All right, let's take a look here. Oh, sorry. Go back to the U.S. I thought that was in the U.S. Tree. Maybe it's in the Western... Yeah, it's in the Western Europe tree. So, all friendly controlled regions in this theater become dominated. So to do that, we need... Let's take a look here. I'm not seeing... It's just saying Doomsday at least 5?
Okay.
Okay, so it's an issue...
let's go invade Vietnam.
Nice. All right. Here we go. So, can we just take that tank?
Because that'll bring up the Doomsday clock by 1.
Interesting. All right. So can we just go ahead and take that tank unit we have in Malaysia and all right, let's put an end to Ho Chi Minh. Let's see if this works. Can't perform hostile actions in enemy-controlled regions in non-focus theater.
Oh,
right. Oh, that's right. So maybe since
non-focus theater, we're in North America.
That's right. Oh, that's such a shame. Okay, so we have to wait just a bit for that. What else should we do? So I'll get out of there. I don't want us to mess with that situation.
Unfortunately, yeah, we're in North America as the focus. But it's fine. It's not like we can always max out the Doomsday clock and not fire nukes because we're going to have more than the USSR. And if he wants to launch nukes against us, we'll win.
Ooh, all right.
So what we can do in the meantime is let's set up in advance preparation for war against the USSR. So, he's got a lot of influence in East Asia that we can easily max out the Doomsday clock. So let's go to the Aleutian Islands and start deploying units.
Okay, beautiful. So, and sorry, God, my geography is typically pretty good. Where the hell are the Aleutian Islands?
It's your bit of blue in Eastern Europe.
Okay, let's take a look here. Interesting. Wow, I have no idea of these islands. Incredible. Okay, so this is off the coast of.
It's the island chain off of the west coast of Alaska.
Wow, interesting. All right, so we're looking at the Aleutian Islands right now, and so we should drop in a unit here, is what you're saying? Maybe the.
I would recommend a fighter.
Okay, let's see.
Because if he decides to bomb you, because if he attacks you, that's fine. Like that's great.
Now
because
he
you'll set
he
off the
already.
doomsday clock and we can do NATO.
Now he
But
already
let's,
has a
put
flotilla
fighter,
here. Does that make a
That's
difference?
fine.
Okay, so we're gonna drop it.
Because the Aleutians are base.
Oh,
like
I
this
see.
way.
I see. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and drop a fighter plane right there.
hmm It's also what this allows us is because nukes are launched from bombers, we can now launch like in the next phase. We're going to put a bomber command in the Aleutians as well.
Okay.
What this will allow us to do is if we ever do launch the nuclear apocalypse, in the nuclear calculations, if we launched it now, would base a launch from I think 3 regions away. I think is the range of nukes from a nuclear bomber.
Oh, interesting.
So we could potentially launch nukes in the Urals, I think.
Wow.
And it would be worth a lot of points because these are dominated zones, and this would really reduce the Soviet influence.
Yeah, and I have to say this part of the game I have not looked into at all. Like I had no idea you could like manipulate the military like this, to cause like a problem for the enemy. Or to like force them to force them to push the doomsday clock up. Like I when I was doing my Let's Plays, I never touched the military except to like use them to influence a region in the direction with like people power.
Due to the event chain, because we set off the whole thing, we just lost Cuba.
Oh,
The socialist revolutionary. If we go to Central America,
let's take a look. Has Fidel risen up yet?
Yeah, Fidel is going to be a pain in your.
It's going to be a problem.
Behind, fortunately.
I mean, at least we popped what we could there.
Well, you sent off the event chain. Like, we're gonna. Here we go. Oh, Central European. Rats. I guess we could have waited.
Yeah.
To fire off Marshall because since he just dominated Central European Eastern Zone. Yeah. It's a shame that he chose disarmament first. Like a shame for us. Because we could have had NATO fired off. But we can use this time. Glasnost, yeah. That means openness. I can't remember. Like, it was part of the reforms. Let's see here.
He's popped something with Nehru for sure, because his influence just dropped.
You can always just take a look at your message log and see what the
Soviet
scum is doing.
Yeah, in the lower left corner here. Okay. So it's back to us.
He chose Burma.
Yeah, he definitely trying to get that that influence over here.
He's taking control over South Asia.
Completely, yeah. And I sort of expected that when I saw him in India with 2 and 2. It makes sense that he would want to take the entire area here.
Well, the thing is South Asia and East Asia are rather pivotal to the USSR and allowing them to spread their influence because we're kind of locking his logistics line into the Pacific by holding Malaysia. Though I think there's a connection between Vietnam and Burma, so he'll be able to start moving into the Pacific, but not easily because I don't think he's got connection to Indonesia yet. But he might.
I think he does. He has he's got one influence in the central Indonesian zone.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have he can't drop troops. In other words.
Well, if he's got one influence, you could.
Oh, he can. So I thought you needed 3 influence to drop troops in a specific area.
You need a minimum of 1 political influence to count as for your logistical lines.
Okay.
But it gets cheaper the more political influence you have. So it's like far cheaper to deploy a unit in, say, a max-controlled East Germany than, say, a 1-controlled Thai Malaysian zone. That's why we have the surface fleet off of the coast of Thailand, Malaysia.
That makes a lot